All right, everyone, welcome back to another gaming news video here on the Game Vault. I'm Captain Beefy, and we've got a lot of big stuff to talk about this week. Let's cue up the music and we'll get right into it. All right, first up on the list, if you haven't heard, well, you must have been under a rock if you haven't heard, but Xbox has announced that they are increasing their prices, and it looks like it's going to be quite considerable what they're doing here. Let's take a look at these prices real quick. All right, so these prices went into effect as of May 1st, and it's kind of across the board for hardware, and it's going to be applying to software in the future for first-party Xbox games. Now, we saw Nintendo announce recently that some of their games are going to be coming out at an $80 price point, and a lot of people speculated that once Nintendo did it, other companies are going to end up following suit, and it looks like Microsoft is the first to do so. After that, we can only imagine when Sony will do the same. But for now, let's take a look at these price changes here. The Xbox Series S, the regular 512 gigabyte one, is jumping up from $299 to $379. The 1 terabyte, $349 to $429. The X Digital, $449 to $549. The Xbox Series X is going up from $499 to $599. And the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Black is going from $599 to $729. That's more than a PlayStation 5 Pro right now. Oof, controllers look like they're roughly staying the same, except for like a wireless special edition's going up, and the limited edition, the Elite wireless controller's going up a little bit, $179 to $199, and then the wireless headset is jumping up $10 from $109 to $119. So it's quite a lot there, right? Now this is surprising a lot of people. A lot of people are very upset about this, and we never like as consumers when prices go up. It's just a thing, and this is a worldwide thing. A lot of these journalists are, well, it's the tariffs and all that. Well, it's more than that. Xbox has not been selling consoles. Let's be frank about this, and they've already expressed an interest in getting out of the console market right now. So, and becoming just a publisher, a third-party publisher. Will they do that? I don't know. We all saw that recent thing that they did a few months back where this is an Xbox and that's an Xbox, and they showed everything from a phone to a toaster to, whatever, a television, I think. I'm joking about the toaster. So I get this feeling that they're trying to get out of this. Now, what they might be doing is ramping down on production now that we're in the latter part of the life cycle of the 10th generation of gaming. So they're probably ramping down, and they're probably want to maximize everything they can make out of each unit that gets sold, if they sell any. Microsoft, Xbox, they've had a rough go of it this generation. And I'll be honest, PlayStation hasn't excelled too much either. A lot of third-party companies have made some great games, but these two tentpole leaders, neither one has put out a defining game this generation. And it's kind of crazy if you think about it, right? Because there's usually something huge that comes out. Xbox has had failure after failure after disappointment after failure. They've had some mediocre hits, like with what was it called? The one with, I can't even remember the name now, the Bethesda one. It's in outer space. Oh my God. That's how little of an impact it had on everything. Now, recently they put out Oblivion, which was great. The remake of Oblivion, that's doing well, making them a lot of money. But, they've gotten away from their exclusivity to Xbox. A lot of, most of their games come out day one on Game Pass. And I'm sorry, man, that hurts sales. I don't care what you say. You can defend Game Pass all you want. To me, I look at it, it is a great, great, great value for a gamer. As far as a consumer goes, wow. But, and it's a big but, you don't own the games, right? You're just renting games basically on there. It's not even like PlayStation Plus where you get to keep games as long as you're a member. They go into your library and they stay there forever. They don't ever take them off, So, it's turned you from buying games into just renting games, basically, for a rental fee every month. And now, granted, you have a wide selection of games and all that, and it's great. You get some day one games that, as soon as they come out, you're not dropping $70 to $100 to play the game. And that's cool. I get these values, but I just feel like it seriously cannibalizes sales in the market. And that's one of the main reasons that Xbox is now publishing all of their stuff on PlayStation, pretty much. I mean, we just saw Indiana Jones and the Great Circle come out, which was released last year on Xbox, and everybody, oh, this is an exclusive, Well, guess what? It's not. A lot of games have been doing that. The upcoming id Software game, Doom: The Dark Ages, right? It's part of Bethesda Studios. You'd think they would market that as a exclusive game, but nope. Day one, it's going to be available on PlayStation, and it looks phenomenal. This is going to be the hit that they needed for them. But Doom is also not something that's going to sell 40 billion copies. It's kind of a niche game that, players that like Doom and like those first-person shooters are going to play that game. But a lot of people aren't going to play that game because, quite frankly, it's like a brutal game, man. It's super violent. It's not for kids, anything like that. So, boom. But anyway, let's talk about Doom: The Dark Ages. That's a good segue there. Rolling Stone has an article that says, Doom: The Dark Ages feels like an Xbox 360 shooter in a bad way. So Kazuma Hashimoto, whoever the hell that is, wrote this article, and it's pretty bad on Doom: The Dark Ages. Now, I've seen the footage from the game. I've seen the trailers and all that. To me, it looks fantastic. I think it's going to be a great game. There's been a lot of arguments online. I was looking at Steam today and also on Reddit, and people are calling it Doom: The Woke Ages because it has because it has sliders in it as far as difficulty goes. Now, I'm a big fan of that. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a big fan of that. Games, people get mad, right? People get mad. They want you to play a game the way they play a game. No, you got to play it like me. You got to play it on the ultra hard difficulty, hardcore mode, blah, 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 or you're not a real gamer. Hey, get out of here, bud. Gamers range from little kids to old folks like me, and older than me. I saw a guy 80-something years old, I think, a few months back that beat Elden Ring on New Game Plus 8 or something like that. It was insane, right? Insane. Talk about getting good. This old man was kicking ass. So sliders, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's kind of fun, actually, because I've played some games where, I want to customize the sliders a little bit, just a hair, even if it's only for certain things like I got to go do some farming now in the game. And by farming, I don't mean like Farmville farming, for those of you who don't know the meaning of it, but like I got to go out there and collect resources and all that, Well, while I do that, I don't, I'm going to make things maybe a little easier for myself sometimes just to save time. Time is money. I work, I've got a family, I've got a house to maintain. So things like that can assist me in times like that. It doesn't take anything away from the game. It only makes it more enjoyable for you. Now, Doom, they've got things like that will make the bullets hit harder or softer, make the game faster or slower. Just certain things like that. They've got a wide variety of sliders, so you can seriously customize that game and fit it to your taste. And it's cool. That is really cool. I like that. I like when I see that stuff in games. I think it's fantastic. So anyway, people are calling it that. And then they're calling the female character that we saw in the trailer a troon. And I'm like, it's not a troon. Come on, guys. Really? I hate the woke crap in video games and all that. I get zero feeling from Doom on that kind of stuff. So whatever. But Doom: The Dark Ages due out May 13th, according to Rolling Stone. I think it was the 14th, but 2 days of early access. Anyway, seeks to expand the lore of the franchise's modern era that began with 2016 simplistically titled Doom. The Doom Slayer, previously generic Jughead Space Marine type, colloquially dubbed Doom Guy in the old games, is no longer just a force of nature. He's a man forced to contend with the denizens of hell, a lapdog to some greater will that uses his destructive inclinations to save the world. At its core, it could be a delicious premise. The Doom Slayer was a slave to capitalism in Doom 2016. The soft reboot that revived the franchise and his now origins as a slave to a religious theocracy sound like something that could be cool as hell to explore. At least it should be. All right, right there you lost me with the slave to capitalism crap. But anyway, so the article goes on and on and on, kind of just throwing shade at the game itself. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Check it out yourself. I will leave a link down below in the comments for you. You can check it out. All right, moving on to upcoming games. Grand Theft Auto 6 announced a delay. Not just a small delay. Now, we were expecting this game out before the end of the year. 2025 now. It's delayed until May 26th, 2026. Now, it's kind of good and bad that they gave us a date there, right? Because it's good because people, if you have a date announced, well, that's pretty firm, right? There hasn't been a date yet for this game. So it's a step in the right direction, but it's a step in the wrong direction for putting it back for so many fans. People are going nuts for this game. It's been 12 years since Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's been, 6 or 8 years since Red Dead Redemption 2, I think. It's been a long time since Rockstar put out a game. What are these guys doing? I know what they're doing. They're making content for Grand Theft Auto 5 so they can sell their in-game currency is what they're doing. And that's how they're sustaining themselves. And that's sad because here you have a once quote-unquote great studio now reduced to printing money. And good for them, that everybody wants to make money and all that, but bad for us as gamers and consumers because instead of getting a nice, cool new game, all we're doing is getting rehashed stuff for an old game that's now 12 years old. I mean, my God. It was 3 generations ago, right? It was PlayStation 3, I think, that it came out. So, yeah, it's been a while. So anyway, there's a lot of speculation as to why this is happening. Maybe they need to further polish the game and all that. I'm sorry, dude. It's been 12 years. 12 years. Some people were speculating that there is some concern and that maybe they're going in and they're removing certain types of content, quote unquote, woke, because of the change in the gaming atmosphere as of lately. And a lot of people believe this game was going to be pretty woke. I mean, we saw a female protagonist introduced, which is a first for the series, I believe. I can't recall another female protagonist. And but there's multiple protagonists, but one of them's female this time. And that upset a lot of gamers. It didn't upset. I don't care if you give me a female protagonist as long as it fits the game, right? As long as it fits the game. And in this case, in Miami, and she looks like she's Puerto Rican or Hispanic, whatever. I mean, she looks like a typical, I grew up in that area, or north of that area, I should say. And the game really gives you those vibes. It's in, Liberty City and, or Vice City, whatever. And it's just, no, Liberty City. And it just gives you those vibes of Miami. I saw those beaches growing up. I saw those people, that type of person that we see in those, in the trailer and all that, from the Hispanics to the blacks to the rednecks and all of it. It's freaking hilarious to see it represented that way. But yeah, a lot of people are worried that there's going to be a lot of woke content in it. Now people are wondering, are they going in and starting to remove that kind of stuff? Who knows? But wow. But yeah, just a footnote here. Since 2013, the game has sold more than 210 million copies worldwide. 210 million copies. That is utterly insane. Let's move on to Polygon now. Polygon is a video game news, quote-unquote, news publication, online, whatever, website and all that. Gaming news site Polygon was gutted by massive layoffs amid sale to Valnet now. Vox Media sold video game specialist website Polygon to internet brand aggregator Valnet, the publisher of content churning sites including Game Rant, OpenCritic, Android Police, and Comic Book Resources. The move comes alongside significant layoffs for veteran journalists at the 13-year-old outlet, including co-founder and editor-in-chief Chris Plant and senior writer Michael McWhirter. Sudden job cuts appear to have been completely unexpected for those affected. They always are. Polygon senior reporter Nicole Carpenter, for instance, published a story about the Epic versus Apple case at 10 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. This was written on May 1st, before sharing news of her layoff less than 2 hours later on, of course, Blue Sky. Along with just about everyone else at Polygon, I am now out of a job, ending over a decade at Vox Media for me. Curation editor Peter Volk wrote on Blue Sky. Working at Polygon was a wonderful experience, and I'm proud of the work we did there. Well, Polygon was another crap site. Most of these websites have been garbage, and, I'd say good riddance to them. It's time to bury the legacy video game media websites and publications and all that. Bury them and just forget they ever existed and put the news into the hands of, regular people. Let them tell the stuff. The YouTubers out there and all that. These guys are doing a great job on it, and they're a lot more honest than these publications here. And just a quick look here at the video game industry layoffs for the first quarter 2025. 1,620. We just saw EA announce another layoff for April and all that. This doesn't include April, of course. It's just January, February, and March. But that is, it's a lot of people laid off, but that's the best it's been since 2022. I mean, we're looking at anywhere from 22,000 to almost 9,000 one month. That's insane. First quarter of 2024. I remember that. That was a bloodbath last year. So yeah, layoffs are still going on industry-wide. It's brutal out there. The industry is in a... it's reinventing itself as we speak and as we're watching right now. We're watching a lot of these classic, quote-unquote, great game publishers put out dumpster fire after dumpster fire of games that are just full of content that nobody wants, full of woke ideologies and all this other nonsense, and just not good games overall. And we're watching games rise up from unknown publishers and doing well because what are they? They're just fun games. There's no nonsense in it, no BS, no garbage. And I think the industry's taking note. Hopefully we'll see. Hopefully that change will continue to move on in the right direction. Speaking of changes, nothing changes over at Wildcard. There's still no announcement. Here we are. It's beginning of May, and they said up until May 15th is when they expect that Unreal Engine 5.5 to come out. And we don't get any update this week on the community crunch, which is sad, but it's okay. On a footnote here, if you have a PlayStation Plus subscriber, Ark Survival Ascended will be free for the month of May. So I recommend getting it and giving it a shot. Try it out. See what you think of it. If you're looking for a place to play, I've got a server cluster that, just talk to me. Drop me a note in one of my videos, and I'll give you the information on what it will take to join. So pretty cool, though. Got like 10 or 11 servers on there right now. But anyway, what they did announce, though, is something that we all expected and knew would be there, and that is Griffins will be on Ragnarok, which is great. That was a great introduction back in Ark Survival Evolved. But what's cool about it this time is they're going to be breedable. That was always something that really was like a drag. You could go out and catch a Griffin, but you couldn't breed it. So you could never get those extra levels. You could never get the mutations and all that kind of stuff. You were just stuck with a raw Griffin that you caught out in the wild. So this is going to be interesting. I can't wait to get my hands on a few different Griffins and do some crazy breeding, get those stats up, and then put some wild colors in there and make them the prettiest, most awesome Griffins you've ever seen. That'll be fun. So yeah, that's been announced there. Still no word on Ragnarok being updated. It still looks like it's going to be June 2nd, so in less than a month, we should be seeing it, hopefully. God willing, and the creeks don't rise. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up as always. Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. If you haven't done so, please leave a like on the video down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace.